I am the last alpha, and I'm here to do my 2014 Seahawks regular season wrap-up right before the postseason. I've done a few videos before. I've done videos on my other account. They get deleted or information gets all fucked up. Data, script, all that nonsense. And so I did this other account, Last Alpha. I did Seahawks wrap-up last year. I predicted the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, but that was coming. To reiterate, Pete Carroll was hired. I said in 5 years we'd win a Super Bowl. We did it in 4. Then we got Russell Wilson, and I already knew about Russell Wilson before we even were even thinking about it. As soon as I heard we were thinking about it, I was like, okay, we're gonna go in 4. So I changed my prediction. Russell's gonna take us in 2 years, because I could see in him stuff that like Tom Brady had. You could just see it. But the other, everybody else, they couldn't see it. So that happened. And last year it was dogging on me, but you just gotta look at the facts. You just gotta watch the team. That's the thing. Nobody watched the team. Nobody ever watches the Seahawks. It's because it's been this podunk, to everybody else, this podunk team. They're like, we didn't have any fans or anything. We just sucked for 30 some years. We got that one Super Bowl, which was we were robbed. But a lot of you guys know that, whether you're fans or not, except for Pittsburgh fans. I think they won that shit fair and square, but they did not. And so we proved how good we were last year. And then you got all this stuff about, teams don't repeat, except for the Patriots, and it's hard, they never win. Well, they didn't have the team we did. They just don't have this team. They don't have the character, and the Patriots had that. They had the coach, they had the quarterback, they had the defense, and they had the offense. I mean, when you have good character and guys who stick around, we lost 2 players, really. I mean, that's pretty much it. Our team's still young. We're locked up all our best defensive players. We still have cap to lock up our best offensive players. We still got Lynch for 1 more year. But Russell Wilson's just getting better and better. This Seahawks team has broken more records in the last 2 years than any team has done in that time span. Just look at all the records we've broken. Everything. So we start off the season 3-3. We beat the shit out of all the tough teams. We lose to Dallas at home with half a Seahawks team, 6 starters, 6 starters on offense, 6 starters on defense, and I think 1 starting lineman that game, maybe 2. For half the season, we didn't even have our 2 Pro Bowl starting linemen. They say Seahawks offense is suspect. Well, the Cardinals game, we had 2.5 backups. One guy gets shuffled in and out and stuff. But we got a right guard who's only played guard for, this is going to be his 3rd year, I believe. He was a defensive end before that. We got a rookie right tackle. And those guys fucking worked the Cardinals defense. Sometimes you just need young, big, fast, mobile guys to just move a line, regardless of technique. Sometimes you just need to go out there and beat the shit out of people. And that works sometimes. Sometimes you don't need technique. And also, we had a bunch of penalties in the first part of that game, but after that, the offense, no penalties on offense, execution. That's the into the Seahawks schedule. The Seahawks schedule is one of the hardest schedules ever. And then it was. Play 10 teams that are 500 and over. 10 games that are 500 and over. 2 other games against the Rams, who were beating up on other teams. And you gotta think about it, they're in our fucking division. And we play the 49ers, they're in our division. 49ers beat the shit out of the Cowboys. They talk about teams who are going to knock Seattle off at home, and that's disregarding any given Sunday, okay? I'm not one of those fans who's like, oh, well, we're going to win just because we have home field advantage. No. It's not like that. I mean, it doesn't matter. We can go into Green Bay, Dallas can come here, you know, that's how it is. But considering everything, Dallas Cowboys only played 5 teams above 500, and they lost 3 of those. They beat a half-healthy Seahawks with the whole Percy Harvin bullshit, the whole media clowning on us for no fucking reason, besides the Percy Harvin shit. That's Percy Harvin. You know, we tried taking characters like that and made them men. That's a fact. We take bad kids, really just different people. You know, people who have anxiety talking to media, and then we'll get into that hypocrisy on another fucking video. But Dallas Cowboys haven't played anybody, and they've lost to fucking mediocre teams and played a half-healthy Seahawks. You think they can go in and run like they did, or do anything like they did on this defense now? The way they're playing better than they were last year. The reason why they're like, oh, well, the defense dropped off. I knew they didn't drop off. Just look at the injuries. We had like 5 guys out. 4 starters and 1 or 2 rotationals who are key. A lot of teams don't have guys like that. They just have starters and fucking backups. So, that stuff messes with you. And we only lost 4 games still. One of the hardest schedules. Look at the teams we played this year. Just go and research it. You'll be like, fuck. It's a hard fucking schedule. Green Bay Packers, soft ass schedule. Detroit Lions, soft ass schedule. Cardinals had a harder schedule. But still, the Cardinals had a soft schedule. That's why they were winning games. It doesn't matter that you're 9-1 or whatever. You just got to do the sight tests. There's too many fucking people factoring in fantasy sports, fantasy football league bullshit, and that's determining who they think is good. That's not how it works. Numbers on a paper, you can have a guy who scores 0 fantasy points and has a dominating performance. You have a guy that scores 100 fucking fantasy points who can't play a lick on any other fucking team. You got guys scoring, getting 200 tackles a season, 180, and they play on shitty teams. Well, they're the only decent player on a team, and so they have to make every damn tackle, and then they get voted Pro Bowl, and then you never see them again because it's just how it works. And so all the good players, the truly good players, like on the Seahawks, we should have at least 10 fucking Pro Bowlers on that team. I mean, we have 6-7 guys on defense that are top 5, at least, that in their respective positions. But so we know these schedules are soft. You have to do these sight tests. You can't just throw these numbers out. It's getting tired of talking to these guys who think they know football, and they use fantasy football as their catalyst for information and how good a team or a player is. That's not how it works. You have to do sight tests. You have to look at their schedule. You have to look at injuries. You have to look at whether this guy is good or not. How'd this guy do against a real fucking defense? You know what I mean? And every game that we lost was by this much, just like last season. That's how good of a team we are. We don't get blown out. We didn't even get blown out the season before, 2012, when we went 11-5. This team, I think that we will repeat. Said it last year. It's right about us winning the Super Bowl. Not only that, but I predicted that we'd blow out fucking Denver just from site test. And I know you can't really get a lot out of preseason, but sometimes you can. You just have to understand the game, understand what you see. You know, there's always that one game a year where you beat the shit out of the team, but you lose. Just because of points, because of one big play. That's football. But that one big play will determine how people think about a team just because they made one big play. Oh, St. Louis. Oh, they beat Seattle. Yeah, on 2 fucking trick plays. Like, they beat us, okay? Yeah, they won the game fair and square, but it was on trickery. Like, that happens. Even good teams will win a game when they should have lost on trickery. There's 100 factors that you have to look at in a win. It's not just black and white, even though a win's a win. So, anyways, this Seahawks is the next dynasty. If we win the Super Bowl again, with the type of characters on this team, locking everybody up, I mean, it's unbelievable how underrated this team is again. Were you not watching the fucking Super Bowl last year? Like, just think about it. You didn't see that shit with New Orleans or Green Bay. You know? I knew Baltimore was going to beat San Francisco. You just tell, even though San Francisco was the better team, there's more that's involved. That's why I feel this team is going to win the Super Bowl again and have a damn good shot of doing it again next year. Because next year we might get a harder schedule and it might end up being easier. We might coast all the way through, get home field advantage again, and we all know how that's going to work out. Because guess what? These aren't old guys that we're keeping next year. These are young guys that are still not even in the years of their prime and winning Super Bowls and division championships. But we got to get through the playoffs, but we've already beaten Carolina once, and they're not as good as they were the year before. I mean, look at their division. They squeaked in. They didn't have that tough a schedule. Although they did have a tougher schedule than some of the teams with higher records. So, Carolina plays Arizona. I mean, they'll come to Seattle, and the chances are, Jesus fucking son, chances are that we win are very high. And then we either have Dallas, Green Bay, or Detroit. And I don't fear any of those teams. Never feared any team this season. When we were 3-3, I still knew we were going to take first seed. Just character, you just feel it. Especially when you've played on a team like that, that's had that, and you've played on teams that haven't had that. That's just from my personal experience. Played football throughout school, played it in the military, started playing rugby around at 18, played for 10, 11 years, played in the military. So I've been on teams, all different types of teams. Teams with assholes and good players. But when you've had that much experience, you just kind of, and other people will tell you that. Then you got guys who are on those teams that they just never will ever get it mentally. They will never really understand football. So, I'm telling you, this Seahawks team they're the best team in the NFL. This defense is the best defense to ever exist. I looked at the 85 Bears, and at first I was like, you know, they're still not as good as the 85 Bears. And I like that team. Love that team. And, but the Bears, I looked at the teams they played that year, and then in the Super Bowl, the team they played, these weren't the high-powered offenses like they are today. This was with even more lax rules on defense. Like, the way the NFL set up, it's score points. That's what makes money, which is sad because that's not how fucking football is. That's why Roger Goodell is going to be the death of the NFL. The guy's a loser. I understand these rules, you know, for injuries and stuff. I get that, but you got a bunch of other rules that are just dumb. Basically crucifying fucking football, and that's why rugby is the fastest growing sport in America right now. And even in rugby, just in my time playing, I noticed changes trying to make that shit you know, not as tough. They just don't let people play. And then they let people get away with, like, just it's hypocrisy and double standards and all that. Roger Goodell is the biggest hypocrite. He's a fucking crony. He's one of those guys. He's a politician. He's paid by the owners to take care of business. Well, the owners make money from it. It's just a cycle. Anyways, this team, it's the team, I'm telling you. So, I mean, it's pretty much all I got to say. It's hard to get everything out you want when you're driving to work in the morning. But I'll touch up on, I'll review the video, touch up on some other stuff, and come back at you. But would do more. I had a bunch of other videos that shit got erased because I had a shitty fucking phone. It was water damaged. I had to just wipe the damn thing. Now I got this tablet. I'm gonna start doing videos. I'll be doing more videos next year. Wish I would have done videos this year. But the way I go about it is I'm not going to talk shit. I'm just going to tell you straight up. In the most non-biased view that I can possibly have with respect towards other people. And I'm not part of this TTC crap. I don't fucking cash checks that I can't, or make claims on, you know what I'm fucking talking about. I don't talk shit and not be able to back it up. I just say, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I feel, and this is why I think we could win. And I'll do that for other teams too. But I'm not gonna talk shit and be like, we're gonna win just because this is my fucking team and we're gonna win and you suck. Okay? That shit, you're a chump, man. Even you're just a chump. And then when you lose, you gotta sit there and fucking bow down on your knees to someone. Why even put yourself in that position? Like, that's pathetic. Put yourself in a position where you're at the mercy of someone else? Come on. Now, some guys do in their pros, you know, they're respectful, they're not fucking dickheads, you know, like, oh, well, you're still pussies and stuff. Those aren't pro videos, guys. Especially you San Francisco fans. Your pro videos are fucking garbage. And you guys talk shit. You're the worst shit talkers I've ever seen. You're worse shit talkers than fucking Dallas Cowboy fans. Oh my God. I like how 49ers, the only thing they could say is that Russell Wilson's a midget. You say he sucks, but you guys are the ones with the dumb fucking quarterback. You don't even have a head coach. And that was your good coach. I hated Harbaugh, but I liked Harbaugh. You know what I mean? You know, you can hate someone but like him at the same time. players, smart. He's an athlete. He's not a quarterback. Russell Wilson is an athlete and a quarterback. He's a quarterback first. That's the thing. Like, Russell Wilson sucks. Come on now. You guys broken more records than any quarterback coming in his first 3 fucking seasons. Yeah, it's not stuff like most passing yards or whatever, but he has one. He's tied for most passing touchdowns with the rookie. He's got the most wins in his career. He's the first quarterback to throw over 300 and rush for over 100. He's 15th leading rusher this year. His touchdowns to interception ratio is phenomenal. It's at where guys should be 2-3 years from now. You're fools to think that Russell Wilson is not he's top 2 quarter. Put Russell Wilson on a high performing offense. On one of the offenses in the league that's getting it. Come on. He's that good. So, you'll see, I'm telling you. You guys just, you have no idea what's coming. And it's very rare to be in the position to recognize that. Because I never, ever, being a Seahawks fan forever, I never thought we would have this. I always thought we'd have one of those teams that could get to the Super Bowl. But I never thought we'd have a team that was a dynasty. And even though we're not a dynasty yet, I'm not saying we're going to be. I feel like we're going to be. And if what I'm saying is, if there's any team to do it, it's this team right here. The way everything's been set up through the draft. And it's just, sometimes this stuff just happens. The Cowboys had it. Cowboys had it. The 49ers in the 80s had, man, I love those 49ers in the 80s. I do. They were my second favorite team. Montana and all that. I fucking hate these 49ers now. They're turds. They're fucking hypocrites. They talk about Seattle and how we're criminals. We had a few PEDs 2 years ago. Whoop-de-doo. You guys have every year PEDs, arrests. You got fans stabbing each other. You got your coach can't get along with your GM. You guys are what? You guys are like. You guys are like the Western Roman Empire in 400 AD, thinking you're the Roman Empire of 180. That's exactly what you are. I don't give a shit about your old fucking empire. You're irrelevant. Kaepernick lost 3 years in a row in clutch games. And I said before Kaepernick even got in the first one in the 2012, when you guys went to the when you went to the Super Bowl. Sorry, 2 years in a row. You guys went to the Super Bowl. Before that, when they started going with Alex Smith, or when they changed from Alex Smith to Kaepernick, I said they're never going to win a championship with Colin Kaepernick. And that's with respect to his college playing and his athletic ability. He's dangerous, but he's not dangerous. If that makes sense. There's something going on in Seattle. And our fans are finally being noticed instead of just fucking off in the corner. Just because the rest of the U.S. is ignorant to the Northwest's loyalty to this team since the day they came out. Alaska, British Columbia, Canada, what is it, Alberta, or Calgary? Yeah, Calgary. We get Idaho, we get some of Montana, we get Oregon. Like, that's a large fan base, but you just never hear about it until all of a sudden it's right in your fucking face. Because nobody gave a shit about Seattle, not even the entire league. They still don't. They still think they're gonna just keep go on on, NFL. Keep us at the underdogs. We'll just keep proving you wrong like we've been doing the last 2 fucking years. This is going to be the 3rd year of that.